ABX. Now, same thing with this. Again, same thing with this. It got hit, Barrick Gold, because of the gold on Friday, but it was already on a downtrend, as you know. Key levels on it. Let's look at a weekly. So again, it really depends what gold does this week into that 1500. Obviously, the stock gets hit harder than gold does, but pretty easy. You can see that $20 area. It brings us back to those 2008 levels before the big run up. Okay, when the market turned back. So, you know, this is a tricky one too. If gold holds off next week, you might want to pick some up. If you already own it, not sure what you should do. You could either sell some covered calls on it. You could look to take your loss and get back in. If you're looking to get into it, I would say you still got another 10% plus a downside, right, towards 20 bucks. And like I said, I don't think gold's going to completely collapse from here. If it does, it's going to be much worse. But I think it's because of that. If it's just that and nothing else, with the Cypress, I think that's temporary, and it should stabilize and maybe come back up. If that happens, you're going to be looking at, say, around this 20 bucks. The lowest it was back then was 17.27. So looking to buy some here and into 20, I think is a really good option. Easy stop sub that point. If gold starts to base out, you can even buy it as it's coming up over 23. So rather than wait for it to bottom out, you can always put alerts for the upside. So this is what I would do on this. You can set up an alert to 23, okay? And you definitely want to have an alert below, say, 21.75, okay? Because that could hit right away Monday if it drops back, or if gold is down before the market opens, you're going to see this thing gap down right away, okay? So it could easily go under 22. So I would say put an alert just under that level, but the 20 buck level is really where you want to watch. The risk to reward at that point is going to be huge. So it's worth a shot to take it a few times. So if you really think that gold's going to bottom out, then the best way to play that is to try it a few times. Like you might have to stop out a few times. If you're good with your stops, that's a weakness I have. But if you're good with your stops, you get into those whole numbers, stop out just below or midpoint. So you're only going to risk each time 50 cents or so, not much more than that. Or leave yourself room to buy more further down. Okay, so then you get a better average. So if you're comfortable with having an average around 21 bucks, then that's another good way to play it. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's what I would do on that one. But definitely, it's going to be interesting to watch this week what gold does. Okay, but you can see it got hit harder. Initially, we had nice resistance up here, right into that weekly 200 weekly chart. Okay, that's not a daily, that's a weekly. But you can see where the levels are quite nice. And that matches up to gold where we were topping out up there too. Okay, but watched into that 20 buck level and this 22, but also if it comes back up. If it comes back up, look at the upside you have, 25 to 30 bucks. That definitely makes it worthwhile even from down here. Make sense? Okay, so that's the way I would definitely look at that one. Pretty easy one to actually read, even though it was such a big panic sell. Okay, panic sells is buying into those times is usually when you're going to make the most amount of money. Unfortunately, I'm stuck on my gold and silver plays right now. I was up on silver and I never took it off. I traded these in the past many times and made a lot of money on them. This time it threw me off, and even though I saw those lower highs being made on the chart, I didn't want to believe we'd come right down to 1500. I thought 15 and a quarter, 1550 max. Friday really threw me off for a bit of a loop. But we did call the 1500 even in the chat because we were looking at the worst case scenario on gold, and we did say down to those 2011 lows. And I put up a chart on, if you look on hold on, I'll just go to the, because if you're interested in gold and you're going to be watching it this week, if you go to the site, hold on a sec. Whoops. Oh, that is small. Just wanted to make sure because I'm looking at another screen and the other screen is the one that's taping. So if you just go to the site, click on the blog, okay? I did a post on it on Friday. So why was gold, silver, everything down? So you can see the big drop on gold. I'd definitely be watching gold. If you can't get a live chart, like this is a live crude oil chart, spot gold. So if you look at it, you can see the major drop we had on Friday. 1500, very key. We were already on a downtrend, as I said here. Okay, hold on, I'll zoom in on that. So look at the level. This is back in July 2011. That's why it's very key. Are we at support? Well, we were at support before Friday's drop. We actually had held well. That's why I said if we can hold that 1550, maybe even 15.25, we're fine. Friday was extended drop. Okay, so you're looking back into this level down here. Okay, so. But it's been on a downtrend since late 2012. I saw that, but I never thought we'd drop much lower than this because it was like triple, quadruple bottom. Okay, it needs news whenever you break to new lows or extended lows. Okay, so what else do we learn from that? If you can't get it, go to FinViz. I like the way they have it set up. You're going to get delayed data unless you get their live version. But if you're into metals, this is actually where you should go. You can go. You can see it. Nice charts. It shows gold, silver, platinum, copper, palladium all down, right, on Friday when I was in that blog. There's the link for it. It's on our blog, so you don't have to look at anything. You can see it even extended out even after I did the charts. Palladium actually held up better. Didn't break those lows. That's why Stanford earlier was mentioning about that spread. Went up. And that's probably why, right, Stanford, with palladium? Because of that? Because it didn't drop as hard as some of the other four there that you see. Okay, you might have stepped away to get something to drink. And then there's a good article that I read about that $1,500 gold level. So I looked at it at the Global Mail because Canada, they're going to know a little bit more about the gold thing. They got affected really hard on the Toronto side. Market there was down a lot. Okay, but they talk about that 1,500 psychological level too. Okay, and that's why it actually drifted down to that level. So you can see I had Barrick Gold on there as well. Okay, but they all got hit. This was actually just past 2 o'clock. By the end of the day, this was down to like 9%. ABX, as you know, was down a bit more too. But look at the Toronto Exchange, because it's heavily into gold and metals. It got hit a lot. This was just after 2 o'clock too. It was down 150 points. Okay, so check that out. If anything comes out, I might do another blog on it. But